Hello, it's Chuck from Above the Basement, Boston Music and Conversation. We saw Circus Trees at the Sinclair in Cambridge when we were there to celebrate the Record Co. and their upcoming new space in Boston. 3 young women came onto the stage in front of a full house, and once they began playing, everyone paid attention. They blew us away. Finola, 15, Giuliana, 17, and Edmee, also known as Egg, 13, are sisters from Marlborough, Mass., and they play sad music. We love sad music, and by the time they finished their set, we had already gone over to their manager/dad, and he kindly gave us some vinyl of their debut album, Sekora. Giving us free vinyl is a sure way to get on ATB, but in their case, they did not need to bribe their way on. We thoroughly enjoyed our conversation with Egg, Finola, and Giuliana, and we talked influences, writing, rehearsing, and how 3 sisters can get along, collaborate, and create intelligent, amazingly sad, but gut-wrenchingly beautiful and emotional rock music, and a band that is garnering a lot of attention in Boston. So here is our conversation with Circus Trees, recorded at Woodsail Table in Concord, Massachusetts. We've been looking forward to this one since we saw you. So Ron, tell them the story about how we saw them.
Well, it all started many moons ago, Circus Trees. Can I call you that collectively?
Yeah.
Circus Trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
I accept that.
We were among the trees.
Yep.
It was at the Sinclair in Cambridge. For all those millions of people listening to this that don't know about that venue, it's a really cool place to listen to music in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
And it was celebration of the Record Co.
Yes, the Record Co. that is near and dear to our hearts because way back when we talked with a guy named Matt McCarthy, who you guys probably met, who was awesome.
They recorded at the Record Co.
We were really feeling like, wow, we're here and Oompa is here.
Did you guys know Oompa?
Yeah.
Had you met her before?
No, we met her that night though.
Oh, we talked to her like maybe a month before.
And Allie McGurk was there. But then we heard the trees were in the house. I don't know what story you're talking about, but I just remember the moment I heard you guys.
I have an addendum.
All right, we will addend in a second. We were really struck by the sound and not knowing that you 3 were related, much less sisters that were close in age. That was what hit me afterwards. I kind of wanted to mention that because if I heard that news before I heard you, I would almost come to it with a little different expectation. But I was wowed even more so finding out afterwards. And that's my story.
Well, I have an addendum.
Yes.
Is that the word? Addendum?
You do. You can addend.
Okay, I'm going to addend right now. So I remember when you guys got on. Okay, I'm sure you get it a lot, right? Oh, look at these kids up there, right?
Yep.
And then you started playing, and everyone's mouth just dropped, and the whole place was quiet, and everyone was riveted to you guys on the stage. And I was trying to think about why. And certainly the music was really interesting, but the confidence when you were up there, you owned it. I think that's what surprised everybody. And a lot of musicians, no matter how old they are, don't own it up there. So I guess you guys also get that a lot too, about you showing a wisdom and presence on stage that goes above and beyond your actual age. All right, well, thanks for coming. See you guys later.
All right, perfect.
So enough of the compliments. So that's why we asked you on, and we're excited to have you on.
Why don't we mix it up a little and introduce your other sister?
Oh, wow. That's a twist. That's an addendum.
I'm going to introduce my sister, Jules.
Dang it.
And you have to say one thing that you hate about her.
Okay, I'm ready.
So her hair. No, I'm just kidding.
I just
I'm not going to
cut.
do that. I don't want to break up the band right
That's
here.
right.
Tell us about Jules.
She just graduated high school.
Did.
Just made it out.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
from
you.
her technical high school, where she studied food, also known as culinary. She plays the drums
Sometimes.
in the band,
Maybe.
and she is the oldest. Oh, yeah.
The oldest?
She's 17.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
She is 17.
Excellent.
Thank you,
All
Jules.
right.
Now it's your turn.
On my left is Edmee, also known as Egg.
Ooh, I like that.
Hello, Egg.
She's 13. She's going into 8th grade. She actually plays 2 instruments. She plays the piano and she plays the bass.
I've seen her. Seen her do both
Cool
at the
stuff.
same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and she is the only one here with green eyes out of us.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, I have hazel.
Dude, I
It's not
wish I
green.
had green eyes. That's
Thank
the
you.
closest compliment you're going to get.
And
Thank
the
you so
only,
much.
sorry to interject the introductions, but the only other proficient bass player and keyboardist that I know of is a guy named Geddy Lee.
From Rush.
Yeah,
Band
I wish-
Band Rush.
I wish she
Oh,
knew
yeah.
who that was, but I do.
And
I'll take
that's
the
your homework
compliment.
assignment tonight.
Okay.
All right,
All
your
right, now
turn.
you get to rip your other sister.
All right. On my right is Finola. She's the singer and guitarist. She's a freshman. She's ending school tomorrow, and she has a blue shirt on.
Yes.
Oh, I do. It's stripes.
Yeah.
I got stripes.
She's the second oldest.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
second
Egg
oldest.
is the youngest. So.
And I saw her at Boston Calling just kind of out of the blue.
I love Boston Calling.
Out of the blue.
And I posted about it, and then your dad said, "Hey, my daughter's there." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, she is here. I saw her about 10 minutes ago."
Yeah.
You haven't done any festivals or anything?
The biggest thing we've done so far is play at the Sinclair, because that's always been like a dream of ours to be playing on that stage. Like, I've seen so many big people play on that stage, and being able to like go up there and like play is just amazing.
Well, tell us
I'm
about that
so
experience.
happy.
Yeah.
It was super nerve-wracking. We only had 10 minutes. 10 minutes is better than nothing. Yeah, so I think we ended up playing 2 songs. But
it was like 1.5 songs, because as you know,
yeah.
like our songs
I
are
do.
like
I was there.
pretty
You wouldn't be
lengthy.
able to pay 2 and wait 10
yeah,
minutes.
very long.
Yeah.
But
It seemed longer.
It did
In
seem
a good
longer.
way, yeah.
In a good way, yeah. Not in
Thank
a, not in a when are they done way.
No, it was there was a presence there, so it seemed longer to me.
we got to go backstage. That was the first big thing. We didn't stand in front of the stage. We got to go behind it.
Yeah, that's
So
really cool.
that was
You
the
were
first
special
step.
guest.
Yeah.
They were like, y'all, we got waters. Like, there's a cooler, and we were like,
Whoa. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Little green
that
room kind of
before.
thing?
Crazy,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was like, all right, man.
Yeah.
This is
cool.
our water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
We got little pink stickers.
Yeah,
You put on your
Slap
Yeah.
it
jeans
on
there.
there. Yeah.
It was great.
Yep.
So we wear all black usually. It's just like what we're into. We like to wear black. People did mistake me as a sound person multiple times, actually. Allie McGurk did.
Yeah.
So we can ignore that. But
That's
At
funny.
least
Yeah.
she talked to you.
she did
That was
speak
great.
to me.
I love
really
her so
nice.
much.
I'm
Yeah.
sure she was very apologetic.
And after she did apologize.
Yes.
Hey, what's
And-
wrong with sound people?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you
They're
got? Something
great.
against sound people?
Our
No,
brother
I
does
don't.
sound. We
Okay.
we love sound.
You're right. I remember getting on stage and looking out. Like, I didn't even, like, plug in my guitar yet. I just, like, looked out and I was just like, oh, my God, we're, like, playing here. That's amazing.
I like zoned everything out, because that big catwalk behind the stage, I looped all the way around, and like I got my sticks, and of course she's like setting up her piano and everything, and I got up there and I sat down and I was like, there's probably gonna be like not a lot of people here, nobody really knows who we are, like we're just a bunch of young kids. And then like I had my head down throughout the intro, and then we kick in and I look up and I'm like, floor to top, like there's people here, like, and then I just started like sweating. I was like,
How did it feel for you? Can I call you Egg?
Yeah.
How did it like when you were up there and playing the piano and looking at your sisters playing? Describe the feeling.
I was trying like so hard not to mess up in front of a bunch of people. It was really fun playing with my 2 sisters on a big stage in front of a big crowd. It was like one of our dreams to do it, and it was really fun, and we played well.
The 3 of you came across very cool and calm. And what I noticed is that it almost seemed like you were kind of in your basement or in your garage, like doing what you do all the time. And I felt that. And it sounds like I may have felt it more than you guys.
Yeah, I'm very happy you say that, because I have no idea how I looked on stage.
Yeah.
I just know my mind was a mess. I was just like, oh my God, this is happening.
yeah, I think there's some sort of, not like it's an alter ego, but I know especially like the way we all hold ourselves on stage, like we all wear the black, sort of gear up, get our instruments, we prep sort of throughout the day, and we're like, okay, we have a show today, like make sure we have all of our gear. And then I think once we get there, we're very awkward people, as you guys probably already noticed, but like
I don't get that at all. I'm not kidding. I don't
we're
get that. You
so
guys are
like
awkward.
antisocial. I don't know what it is. Before we play, we're very just like, where's Egg? Where's Finn? Like, let's just keep our little posse together. As soon as Finn kicks in with that intro before our set, I don't know about you guys, but something just kind of comes over and it's like, this is what you do. You know, it's one of those like, you're ready, like
Yeah.
you're set. And then obviously getting off stage, you're like talking to people and having people come up to us and all that. It's very like reassuring. This is what I love doing.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, it's like when the music starts, I totally like feel comfortable for that 10 minutes that we played. I just feel like the most comfortable behind my guitar playing and singing, and like my mind changes, but it's like getting on and off stage before I'm playing is like a totally different story.
Yeah,
it's
from
tough.
the outside, looking back and watching videos, it sounded so good.
What did Dad think? Was that a good performance for them?
Yeah, well, yes, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I bet.
It was really interesting to look across a very large stage and see my little girl singing.
Yeah.
You know, like 30 or 40 feet away when I'm used to like being 5 feet away.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought I saw you booing, but I don't know. Maybe.
The stage is big. There's this distance between you physically. But tell us about the connection that you guys have as sisters. I'm curious about the writing process and about you guys, like, take me to Marlborough and, like, where it happens. I'd love to hear about how you guys connect.
So, us 3 sisters live in the same house. That's the thing, in Marlborough. We all do a lot of things outside of music. We all kind of do as much as we can in school, extracurricular activities and everything. But we all know at the end of the day, like, music is it for, I'm pretty sure, all 3 of us.
Is it literally at the end of the day, too? Like, every day you guys come back and, like, let's jam?
I know when we were first writing, we'd, like, go down at, like, 9:30 or 10 o'clock and be like, let's just, like, write a song. Like, let's
At
just,
night.
like, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually at night. But we practice in the dark, kind of. So it
Legit.
doesn't So,
Really?
our house, we have a basement that was finished a while ago, and we're kind of building a studio in there. Our older brother, he plays in another band. He's got a lot of shit, so that's all there. It's like in the
Now
middle
you gotta
area.
put an E on the
guys, E
episode.
for explicit.
Oh no.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Now it's
I'm
your
kidding.
turn
E
to
for
swear.
egg.
No.
He's
go
going to
ahead.
swear any
Oh,
second
gosh.
now.
So your brother's got a lot of shit, so he's
He
bringing the
does.
basement. It's really
And
dark
then
down there.
There's windows, like one window, but we close it because we don't like light. We just practice
We're
in
like
the dark.
vampires.
We practice in the dark. We set up just like a stage. We have this one little light that we turn on, and so we can like actually see.
So is the
Yeah.
darkness that you actually rehearse in, does that give a vibe, or?
I think it definitely reflects on the stuff that we write.
I know the way that we used to start. So, like, before Circus Trees was more of a legit Circus Trees when we were just kind of, like, messing around. Owen, our older brother, was in a previous band, and my dad was like, yo, like, they need to kick it up a notch. Like, they need some aesthetic on stage, like, all this kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, let me get a lighting rig. And so I got 2 lights, stood them up, got a couple lights for the ground, got a couple boards, and I just, like, DIY. I just, like, learned. And then I think when we started playing out just a little bit more, I kept that stuff hooked up for us, and my dad or somebody else would run lights, and I think we sort of realized, like, it's not really who we are, that's not really how the band is, and so I think we had to sort of pull back and rethink how we wanted to present ourselves as Circus Trees. We ended up getting some more, like, yellowy orange tinted lights, and then we put some cages around them, and so we can, like, hang them. We hang them off our microphone, off the piano, over the bass cab, guitar cab.
We got to a point in our bands where we thought we had our sound. So the next step was aesthetic and what we looked like. Definitely aesthetic is extremely important for a band because it just gives off more of a vibe when you play, and it gives it more of an experience, more like a show instead of just a band performing live. I don't know, it's like an important part of Circus Trees now, our aesthetic. Someone's inhabiting my body. They don't like me very much. What does me even mean when I've lost my own name in my clay with this man? Don't crash. I can't live very much.
I want to talk about how you fell into your instruments.
Yep.
Egg, how did you fall? How did you end up playing 2 instruments at once?
We ended up having me play the piano, Jules on drums, and Finn playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And then we had another guitarist and then a bassist. The bassist ended up dropping out like right before a show. And so we played the show without the bassist, and then we're like, we need a bassist. And then Finn and my dad were thinking, like, why not just have Egg have her play bass and piano, so we don't need to find another bass player. So I ended up just learning the bass parts and then learning the piano parts, and then I was
Were
fine.
you originally a
Yeah.
pianist? You take lessons up into this
I
point?
used to,
You
and
used
now I
to?
take bass lessons.
Now you take bass lessons. So how does it work? Certain songs will only have piano or a bass, or do you kind of mix them up within each song?
Usually in like one song, one part will have piano, and then the next song, like once it gets, or in the next part, once it gets heavy,
Yeah.
we'll add bass to it.
Yeah, so we write the song specifically so that she'll be able to like play bass and piano,
Got it.
so that she doesn't have to like do it exactly at the same time. Because that's
That'd be difficult.
Yeah, that'd be a little difficult.
Start using your feet.
Yeah.
So you're actually thinking about, you talked about the writing, the aesthetic, the vibe, but you're also thinking about the live, how this is going to play out,
Yep.
literally.
Definitely, yeah.
There's a lot of thought that goes into this. But I'm
Yeah.
really kind of.
Yeah.
Envious?
I never thought this deeply in high school, in middle school, like how to pull the whole thing together. I mean, it's impressive. And so, how about the drums? How did that fall into your lap?
I think before everybody started finding their own band and their own way in music, we were all sort of like, we need an instrument first. Nobody's got the drums yet, so I guess that's me. And then it took a while to pick up. I would do some lessons, and then I was like, nah, not for me. Overall, it's more just like listening, playing, feeling.
Yeah.
On the drum note, what's the cooking connection? Is there one?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, I
Pots
guess
and pans when you were a kid, kind of thing.
I don't think so.
It's just what I think of when I think of someone that's very ambidextrous.
That makes sense.
Using different, you're putting it all together. You're kind of the backbone. You're thinking about the different ingredients, so to speak, that you can
Yeah.
put in. I mean, you know, it doesn't really surprise me that you're thinking about culinary school.
I don't know. It kind of surprises me, but I don't know. That's me.
I mean, would you ever see a bass player go to culinary school? She's going to be a
That's
lawyer.
ridiculous.
She's going to be a lawyer. Yeah. Anyway.
Not smart enough.
All right, so the guitarist.
I kind of got jealous that my older brother was like good at bass and like being good at something, and I was like, all right, I gotta do something better. I picked up the guitar first, and
Electric or acoustic?
electric, and I was like, this is pretty cool. I mean, I went through some rough patches, lots of crying because I didn't want to do it 'cause it was too hard.
Me.
This was like 8 years ago, though. Don't worry, it wasn't
was
like,
like
a
yesterday.
couple
Yeah, it was
months
like
ago.
5 minutes ago.
I was crying this morning trying to play the guitar, so don't feel bad.
We have a really cool teacher that I've been going to for about 8 years. He's definitely taught me everything that I know on the guitar.
Can we give him a shout out? What's his name?
Yeah, his name is Rich Martin. He does lessons.
We love you, Rich.
He's really cool.
Tight guy.
I don't really know him, but sounds like a
Well, I
nice
know
guy.
I love the Circus Trees, therefore I love Rich.
I love Lamp.
Do you think of the lyrics in school, out of school? When do they come? Do you guys contribute, or are they all you?
All of the physical writing lyrically and like the guitar, bass, and piano is this kid Finn.
Yes, that's me.
Have you always done poetry, or
No, it was kind of just like I had an acoustic guitar. I kind of just ended up like locking myself in my room. This happens quite often where I just lock myself in my room. And then it's kind of just like that, like inspiration strikes me or something. I don't really know. It just happens. But I just like put the guitar down real quick and then start writing lyrics. But
you put the guitar down, you pick up a pen, and then there's a concept that comes in your mind.
Yeah, it's usually a theme. Something strikes my mind.
They're usually dark
Uh-huh.
themes too. If you
Sad,
think about
yes.
it, we're 3 girls all under the age of 18 living in a suburban neighborhood, and she's got some pretty dark themes sort of border around like mental illness and sort of abuse, that kind of realm of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes some deep stuff, and it's like, how did that come out of you? Like,
Yeah.
oof, you know?
It's just like what I'm feeling and what my mind is kind of going to at
Yeah.
the moment. And I will just stay on the ground till I am safe from a spinning world.
I did want to talk about, the sad thing. Playing music like this, I listen to stuff like this all the time. If you listen to The Cure, or if you listen to Ron playing, it's very sad. But it's a way for people to cope. It's a way for people to feel better. Even if I'm a happy guy, I'd still listen to different types of music that people may say, like, what are you listening to? This is so depressing.
What I find striking, too, is that you'll actually overtly say that. We're three girls.
Be sad
we
with
write
us.
sad music.
You're out front with it. But I took it seriously rather than, oh, these cute kids. I'm sure you get that, right? But I think it's so well done. And I said this before. It's like, no matter how old you are, if you don't take yourself seriously when you're doing something, no one will. But as soon as you start taking yourself seriously, that's when you turn heads. That's when you get the respect that you'd hope for. And that's why you got everybody's attention in the audience that night. So.
But how does that feel to get the audience attention? And there's the now what factor.
I think.
Did you guys come back and say, okay, what does this mean? What do we do? What's next?
I think that question is sort of always floating around, sort of just what's next and what are we going to do. The one thing that's in my head I know is that everybody, anybody, anywhere is always going to have that one spot deep down where they're just kind of like, I need this, like I need this release or I need this cope, whether it be music or dance or cooking or an extracurricular activity at school. And I think embracing that is a really good thing. I know a lot of people struggle. I know I've struggled before, and I'm sure you guys have some struggles or have had some struggles in life. And I think accepting that and embracing it and finding some way to sort of get past it and look back and sort of make it a positive thing is something that we try to do with our music, and we try to not push towards people, but sort of just present to them like this is what we do, and we're happy that we do it. Right. So that's what we always try to keep in mind.
Sadness makes us happy.
Yeah,
It does. Sad music makes us happy.
yeah. Julian Baker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about Julian Baker.
Julian Baker is one of she's like one of our biggest influences. I don't know if you guys know about her.
I know Julian Baker.
Julian Baker.
Yep.
Oh my God, we love her. She just writes a lot of this sad music and a lot of this like heartbreaking music. I know not so much recently, but she did an interview in Cambridge, I believe, and she was sort of talking about her writing process and what she writes about, how she creates her songs, and one of the lines that I'll always remember is her just saying, like, sad music makes me happy, like, writing sad music makes me happy.
Yeah.
So,
Makes us feel better.
Yeah.
I was interested to hear about some of your influences. Who do you like to listen to?
I listen to a lot of Oh Brother, Caspian, Julian Baker, Tides of Man. Like a big influence is our brother, his band.
Yeah. What's the name of his band?
Reprieve.
He's been playing forever, and he'll roadie for us, and he'll do sound for us, and he's just like even if he doesn't show it, we know he loves us so much, and it's so cute. We love him.
Well, it sounds like he's a mentor, or like you look up to him.
100%.
And, I don't know.
Definitely.
That's great.
Would you say that if he was sitting in the room?
No.
No.
Maybe not.
Just bad things.
No.
No.
We'll delete this part. What about you? What do you like to listen to other than Julian Baker?
To be honest, I am less of a cultured person in the post-rock sort of genre.
Yeah.
I think more now. I'm sort of into the country.
My daughter's same age as you.
Yeah.
She listens to country music.
Yep.
Which blows my mind.
What-
Us living in Massachusetts.
Well, so what do you mean by country?
Not like old
103.3
country,
kind of
but
thing? Like the new stuff?
Yeah, like 101.7.
Travis Scott or whatever his name is?
Yeah, like those kinds of guys. Like I know most of it's like
That's very happy.
not very good and like happy and
Yeah.
like Dixie cups and like this girl and that girl in the bed of my truck.
Yeah,
You
let's
know?
drink tequila.
Yeah, like all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But like I'm chilling, like windows down, like sun's out.
Yeah.
Great.
Let's go, you know?
What about you?
I listen to a lot. I love all types of music. I love classical music. I love pop. I love all that indie stuff. I love post-rock. Post-rock definitely, it helped me branch off into everything.
What is post-rock?
Post-rock That's a good question.
Well, give me. I mean, if you can't explain it, can you give me an example of a band that's post-rock?
Definitely one of my favorite post-rock bands is Caspian.
Caspian.
I listen to their music all the time. Then there's other bands that we've seen at post-rock festivals like Tides of Man.
Have you guys ever heard of Sigur Rós? Your
That
stuff
sounds
reminds
like
me a lot of them.
I'm
You know them?
familiar.
It'll start off slow, like what's the first song on the album?
Empty
Yeah,
Cabinets.
Yeah, so it's
Knew
like
that.
it's very Sigur Rós. And then later on you get the crescendo of the electric. There are waves of different parts of the song.
Ambient.
Plus, I love how they're really long. A lot of times, a song can be too short. If it's a pop song, I get it. It needs to be 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But if it's something longer, like I'm a big Pink Floyd fan too.
I love
So I
Pink
like
Floyd.
it. I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
Just keep on going. I like listening to that. So
Yep.
just keep going. So I like how your songs are like 5, 6, 7 minutes long. And then not only that, like sometimes you sing that, like the first song, I think, it ends,
No, it doesn't end.
and then it doesn't end. Yeah, it keeps on going.
No,
I'm like,
that
oh,
happened to me a couple times in a Circus Tree moment where I was like,
Circus Tree moment.
It's got to be over. No, it's not over. And so I like that. And I wanted to ask about time signature too. How does that come into play? Because you change it up sometimes.
I do.
Yeah.
I usually don't think about it when I first write the song. It's like
It's all
not even in
feeling.
my head. It's just feeling. And then we'll end up playing it out. Then like when I step outside for a second and look at the song, I'm like, oh, so I'm like changing time signatures here and then tempo change here. And I'm like, why did I do that? I don't know.
Or I'll
That's what I
start,
was
like-
feeling. But
Yeah, I'll start like writing the drum part, and she's like, "All right, and then this next part we're gonna do this, so let's play it all out." I start playing, we're in like 6/8, it's like mad slow. I'm like, "All right, we're chilling," and then she'll kick like straight into this like 4/4 like really fast.
Chuck and I have been in many bands since your age. I started when I was 13 or so, and I've had many friendships. They're like kind of like brothers to me and family. I've played with some women too, so some sisters, I guess. It's really special. I don't have to tell you, but you have something else going on in that you share some DNA.
Yeah.
But how does that work if there's conflict? I mean, if is
it's
it
bad.
bad subject?
Meg is going to
huh?
have to excuse herself.
Yeah,
apparently.
we gotta go.
Like,
On a good day when we're like, yes, let's write, I'll be like, sorry, I'm just like, I'm dumb today. Like, my arms are noodles. And then I know on like the bad days, I think it's good that we share DNA because my trucker mouth comes out. And I can be like,
it would be tough to
you
recover.
know, this
Yeah.
and that. And I think anybody outside
Trucker
of the
Mouth is a good
family.
band name, by the way.
Yeah, right. And she's got that
Oh my
country
God.
edge too.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
like, I'll slather up some barbecue.
Is that your accent?
I don't know.
It was great. It was
That's that
beautiful.
Marlborough Southern accent. So you know the limits.
I mean, I do know the limits. I think we've definitely, maybe once or twice, had very juicy arguments. I know at the end of the day, no matter how much we want to punch each other in the face, we'll go to sleep, we'll wake up, and we know Circus Trees is still going to play on.
It's definitely easier to bounce back.
Yeah.
We've gotten in
Yeah.
fights all of our life.
You must have some interesting moments, especially in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
On this one, I know especially her being the youngest, not that I'm outing you right now, but her
expose
not
me.
necessarily outright contributing to like the first writing of the song. Like I know when Finn will bring lyrics and Finn will bring the bass part and the piano part, and then me trying to write the drum parts, the first few tries she can get the brunt of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I know for her it's been tough, but she's a tough kid. She's a tough egg.
So,
Hard
This is
boiled.
tough.
Hard
So-
boiled.
Hard boiled.
so as far as that is
Well,
concerned,
that was good to hear, right?
when you bring in a song, you basically have just the guitar part. Is it all sorted out already? Is it kind of a living, breathing thing until you're all on the same page? How's that work?
I usually bring the songs to the table with some structure. I think what they add to it is they add the real vibe that we get from the part. When I bring it to them, they're deciding how the vibe is happening during this part and what they're feeling, and it definitely changes everything.
You
It's-
bring the
yeah.
basic recipe and you add some of the
Yep.
spices.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
God, you and your cooking metaphors.
I'm hungry. What can I say? What kind of spice do you bring?
Salt.
Yeah.
That was a really quick answer for your sister.
Salt it up.
Yeah. Some salt, pepper maybe. It depends on the
Alright.
day.
The taco seasoning.
Yeah,
Put
taco
it in the-
seasoning.
Yeah.
Talk about your relationship with Carissa.
Ooh,
Because we had Carissa on here, about a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And she brought this woman that we didn't know. Found out her name was Vanessa.
Hey.
And they have
Silberman.
Silberman with a B.
With a B.
And they're both cool as hell. And she won the Rock and Roll Rumble last year or 2 years ago. She's as cool as it gets. Total
She's mad
rocker.
cool, yep. They're both mad cool.
What's your relationship with her?
When we decided to record our first single, Vanessa and Carissa were the first two people who were just like, we need to get it done. Like, we're going to do it. Like, let's do it today. You know, they were very like, we love you guys. And then, and so they are the first people we recorded our first single with. Our first single, Impermanence.
Yeah.
I know you can sort of talk more about how we met them.
They came around to play a show with us. I don't remember exactly how that happened. I don't know how we ended up playing with Carissa Johnson.
Yeah.
But that ended up being a thing. I remember our whole thing that day was like, we need to impress them. Like, we need to, like, make a good impression on them.
Like, they're going to be there, like, wrinkle release your shirts. Like, make sure everything is, like, steamed. Like, let's go.
All right.
So, I remember we started playing. This will never leave my mind. As soon as we started playing, a couple minutes in, they get up and leave.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh no, what did we do wrong? Like, what happened? They come back after. Eventually, they come back. Yeah. Later, we find out they left to go talk to our father.
Yes.
And tell us how good we were.
You see?
Yeah. They weren't leaving.
Carissa was smart.
She is. I did want to talk a little bit about the singing because it is very unique and it's difficult because you hit a note and you hold it, which is not easy to do. But you also have these kind of little things that I notice.
Can you try it for us?
You do these things.
Show us.
You'll do like a do the
throat noise. I don't know.
Throat noise.
The glottis.
I don't know.
Epiglottis.
But you do.
There's
It's
meat
like
to
you
it.
stop your voice with a. Right? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not all over the place. It's not like your signature, but I hear it here and there. So,
Yeah.
Audio signature.
Very good, Ron.
I mean, my vocals, definitely, I started singing when I started playing, kind of. And then I ended up going to vocal lessons, actually. It really, really helped me, not to necessarily be classically trained in vocals, but it helped me in a sense that my vocal teacher definitely helped me to, like, believe in myself.
Yeah.
And, like, the only way you're going to be able to project and sing well is if you really believe that you're going to hit these notes and that you are good.
Exactly.
And so she definitely taught me a lot about that and about breathing and everything.
That goes back to my initial comment about saying how you guys owned it and you had the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
If you did not own it, your voice when you had that note and you're holding that note for a long time, it would waver,
Quiver,
and it would be weak, and you
It would be
wouldn't,
flat.
and you wouldn't blow everybody in the audience away. But it's because you had that confidence. That's with that strong voice. That's what makes a song.
Do you harmonize at all? You do a little of that?
Yeah, who else is
mentioned,
singing?
They can't.
So you mentioned something
No one,
interesting that you want to hear the lyrics in your monitor loud.
Yes, pump that.
You follow the song that way.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I know when we're on stage, I know Egg, the only way she'll play is if she's turned around facing me.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever a moment where she'll sort of look out, but I know she'll look at Finn sometimes, but, like, just, like, seeing Egg and knowing that we're both physically singing the lyrics and we can both hear the lyrics, it's, like, a very, like, calming thing.
What do you mean sing? You guys mouth it?
Yeah,
Or
I'll
is
mouth
it
it.
in your
I know she legit sings. Like, she'll just, like, scream. Oh, just exposed her.
I love this. I mean, you guys are really, the song is resonating through all of you.
Yep.
So your album out is called Sekora.
Sekora.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean?
It means cherry blossom in
Cherry
Japanese.
blossom.
Yes.
In Japanese.
My dad, Mr. Robert, he used to travel a lot, especially when...
Does it make you call him Mr. Robert?
No.
Yes.
We call him Bob.
He only answers to Mr. Robert.
Yes. He used to travel a lot for, like, his job. And I know when my mom was pregnant with her, he was in Tokyo, and he got the call. My mom was like, yo, she's coming. And so they were going to end up naming her Sekora. And then
I got Finola.
And then she just got stuck with
Yes.
Finola.
Yes.
Not a
So,
good name.
yeah, when we heard that story, we were like, we needed to name our first EP Sekora.
I know we have to wrap this up, but how do you keep from repeating yourselves when you write your songs?
That was actually one of our, like, first big arguments. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I got into like such a mood, and then Finn was like, well, we need to write this new song, so let's go. And I was like, all right, fine, like, let's go. And then so we like started playing through our set. Was it Empty Cabinets?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It might have been Empty Cabinets that we started playing, and then she was like, okay, this is the new song. And then she starts playing, and I think she's just like fooling around and playing Empty Cabinets again. But she was like, Jules, why aren't you playing? I was like, you're literally playing the same song. And she was like, I'm not. Oh my God, it was so bad. We got into the biggest
It was like a 2-day argument.
Because I was like, that is the same guitar part. Like, she was like, no, it's not. Like, I swear.
In my mind, I was like, damn, you're right.
By the way, I was very impressed, and I'm guessing that I can thank your dad for doing this, that you guys have vinyl.
Yes.
But is that him or is that?
Uh-huh.
Very
It's you
strong
guys.
push from
It
this
was
one.
Very good. I'm a
I always
huge
wanted
vinyl
one.
fan.
She
Yeah.
has mad stacks.
When's the new album coming out? Is it what's the big plan over the summer?
I just want you to remember that they said one of their biggest influences is Oh Brother. Which,
Yeah.
If you talked about their sort of long form, and you talk about the dynamics and the vocals, that is all heavily influenced by this band Oh Brother.
Let me guess what's going on this summer. You guys are going on tour with Oh Brother.
I wish.
I
I
wish.
wish.
And you're going to name yourselves Oh Sister.
Oh, sister.
Oh, gosh, he
yeah.
found
Whoa,
How
he
did
just
you know?
exposed us.
Still pretty close.
All right, so basically, I think Oh Brother was really the band that introduced me to the world of music and experimentation in music, and how it doesn't have to be all the pop songs on the radio. And I remember listening to them for the first time. It was so amazing. I was so blown away. I think I had to listen to the album like 4 more times after that before I could actually understand what was going on. I know that it's always been a dream for me to like even be on the same stage with them and share a stage with them. Luckily, this summer, we got invited to play Post Festival in Indianapolis.
As in post-rock?
Yes, Post Rock,
Okay.
and then Post Festival.
Okay.
So Post Rock Festival, and then you take out the rock, and then it's Post Festival.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Sort of.
You
All
lost
right.
me about
Okay.
it.
I'll tell you later, Chuck. Yeah, go ahead.
So who's headlining Post Festival?
No idea.
Oh Brother.
Yes!
So we get to play with Oh Brother at this huge festival. I'm so excited to play the festival.
We're basically like best friends already. Like,
Yeah, we basically.
Have you reached out to them? You should.
but like,
Yeah.
I
we
bet you
should.
$1 million they will reach
Yeah.
back. They're not young kids, are they? Are they older guys?
Like
medium rare.
Medium rare?
30s.
I like that.
30s.
Yeah.
Medium rare? What am I, well done?
Yes.
Oh, that was great. I was about to
Thank you
ask.
very much. Yeah, got the deal. Well, good for you. That's awesome. That's exciting.
Tell us when Postfest is and where it is.
It's in October.
October.
My birth month.
October 4th and 5th.
True manager. He knows
Where?
the dates off the top of his head.
In
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
I've never been to Indianapolis. Have you?
We haven't either.
That
we
doesn't.
should race
That's not
cars.
important. So, Postfest, October 4th and 5th in
Yep.
Indianapolis.
Yes.
Chuck's gonna go. He's never been there before, and that's great.
Well, you guys, I tell you, there was a buzz in the audience when you guys went on, and I tell a lot of people about you. And as a matter of fact, I think we've actually brought you up in previous episodes as well.
We
Really?
never talked about God.
What?
Where were we driving? We were both listening to.
Oh, yeah. That's what made it into the episode, right? I was in here setting up
episode?
for.
Oh,
Who was it for?
I don't know. We were both driving
Angel
somewhere.
Wood.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I was
Angel-
coming up from the Cape. I was working on the Cape.
He's coming on the Cape. I had your music blaring on here, and we were both listening to it at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was so funny. Like, I was listening to Circus Trees on the way up. You're like, I was listening to Circus Trees too.
Meant to be.
Circus Trees.
Yeah. One last question. Where does Circus Trees come from? Where'd the name come from?
It's like from the 1800s over in like Sweden or something like that. They would plant trees, and then the like farmers or whatever would legit just like twist them into their own sort of tree, and so it was a
Yeah.
circus tree.
They
I
called
like
it
that a
Circus
lot.
Yeah,
I know what you're
it's a
talking
circus
about.
tree,
Yeah, they kind of form the tree into
Yeah.
shapes and stuff like that.
There's Goats in Trees. That's
Yes.
actually a real thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
Goats
band.
in
A friend of
Trees.
mine
Is it really?
was in Goats and Trees.
You ever seen those goats in those trees?
I like the calendars of goats and trees.
Yeah.
I actually have calendars of goats and trees.
Yeah.
I
it's a
strongly
thing.
believe in
Goats are
it.
cool.
And it's a great name for a band. It's Jason
course.
Krugler. He
What-
was in Goats and
Jason
Trees.
Krugler.
Yeah.
What about you know those goats, those fainting goats? Have you seen those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fainting goats. It'd be another one.
We love goats.
Real quick, you should just the Knuckleheads album that you guys released way back.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Back when, so we have another brother, a younger brother as well. So there's 5 children. We were all in a band a while back called the Knuckleheads. And we did release an album. This album was called Goat Dealer. Because we really
Major
wanted
problem in the
We
United States,
love
all those
goats.
goat dealers.
we really wanted a goat
Legit.
at the time. And me,
As
I-
most children do.
Yes.
of course, I went, Dad, can't we just find a goat dealer
Yeah.
to get a goat?
Yeah, we had like our whole neighborhood was full of just like goats, just like this one month.
Huh.
Goats
Because
are
everybody
awesome.
was getting like mad goats, and we are like, "Where's everybody getting like the goat dealer? Like what? Like why can't?" So it's like we want a goat. Name it Rick.
So tell me the name of the song.
The OE.
Say it again.
The OE.
The OE.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
The observer expectancy effect. Her phrases bounce back from the old empty walls. When her echoes reach back, she's already learned to resolve. In her defense, her brain had started and stalled. Now it's
decided to leave her
We would like to thank their father and manager, Robert McCarthy, who was the founder of 5x2 Records, for his assistance in getting these talented musicians on ATB, and certainly wish these three great young women the best. You must check them out at circustrees.bandcamp.com and spread the word about their music. Please go to abovethebasement.com, where you can join us on Patreon, sign up for our newsletter, listen and subscribe to our podcast, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and look at all the nice pictures we post on Instagram. We are everywhere. On behalf of Ronnie and myself, thanks for listening. Tell your friends, and remember, Boston music, like its history, is unique. How would you like to join us in creating great conversations that inspire and connect? Patreon is a membership platform that provides a way for creators like us to build relationships and provide exclusive experiences to subscribers or patrons. We have been self-financed since we got off the ground in June of 2016, but in order to continue to fully invest all we can in each episode, we need your patronage. For more information, please go to patreon.com/abovethebasement.